Welcome to Fights, the ultimate home of UFC breaking news, shocking updates, and every story that sets the MMA universe on fire. Stay tuned because here, the real action begins. Noche UFC predictions explode with featherweight fireworks. Diego Lopes versus Jean Silva, death clash for featherweight glory. Noche UFC is back. And while this year's celebration might not have the glitz and glamour of 2024's Sphere spectacle, the fight card promises raw intensity and high-stakes drama. At the center of the storm is a featherweight clash that has the entire MMA world buzzing. Diego Lopes, the rising Brazilian phenom who nearly shocked the world earlier this year, returns to prove that his championship aspirations are alive and well. Standing across from him is Jean Silva, the destructive powerhouse from Fighting Nerds, who has quickly built a reputation as one of the most dangerous strikers in the division. For Lopes, this is more than just another main event. His last outing, a spirited battle against Alexander Volkanovski, ended in disappointment, but the performance cemented his place among the elite. Lopes did not walk out with the belt that night, yet he walked out with something just as important: respect. Fans and analysts agreed that he belonged on the biggest stage, and now he gets another chance to silence any whispers of doubt. Beating Jean Silva won't immediately grant him a second shot at UFC gold, but it would re-establish his presence in the top tier of the featherweight division. Silva, however, is not stepping into the cage to play supporting actor in Lopes' redemption story. He comes with fire in his hands, precision in his striking, and a hunger to carve his name alongside Brazil's greats. Riding a wave of brutal knockouts and highlight finishes, Silva has become the kind of fighter who doesn't just win, he devastates. His fighting style is violent artistry, the kind that makes fans rise from their seats and matchmakers take notice. A victory here, especially if it comes in his trademark violent fashion, could catapult Silva directly into a date with Volkanovski. Unlike Lopes, who must rebuild, Silva has the chance to leapfrog the division with one spectacular performance. This bout is not only about personal ambition, but also about pride. Last weekend in Paris, Silva's teammates Caio Baralho and Mauricio Ruffi both suffered painful setbacks. Those defeats have added extra weight to Silva's shoulders. In his mind, Saturday night is not only about his career, but about restoring momentum for his team. Fighting Nerds has long been known as a hub of Brazilian talent, and Silva aims to carry that banner high by delivering the kind of finish that erases all memory of recent losses. Stylistically, this matchup is dynamite. Lopes brings a well-rounded arsenal, a slick ground game, and the kind of durability that makes him a nightmare to put away. His resilience was on full display against Volkanovski, where he absorbed the champion's offense and kept coming forward with relentless determination. Silva, by contrast, thrives in chaos. He doesn't want long exchanges on the mat or measured tactical battles. He wants wild brawls, swinging leather, and shattered chins. The collision of these two approaches creates the perfect recipe for an unforgettable main event. The stakes extend beyond the cage. The featherweight division is in flux, with Volkanovski still standing at the top, but constantly being hunted by new challengers. Max Holloway has moved up, Ilia Topuria has positioned himself as a future star, and a handful of contenders hover in the shadows. A victory for Silva could immediately thrust him into title contention, while Lopes knows that reclaiming his momentum now could be the difference between climbing back into the title picture or drifting into the background of the rankings. Fans are bracing for fireworks. The Mexican Independence Day weekend has become a cornerstone for combat sports, and the UFC has smartly planted its flag with Noche UFC as a tradition. This year might not carry the same spectacle of last year's massive production, but the energy will be no less intense. The crowd will be hungry, the atmosphere electric, and the fighters motivated to deliver a show that lives up to the history of the state. Beyond the main event, the card features rising prospects and established veterans, but the conversation inevitably circles back to Lopes and Silva. Can Lopes prove that his loss to Volkanovski was just the beginning of his rise, not the ceiling of his career. Can Silva show that his violent tendencies aren't just for show, but the weapons of a future world champion? These questions will only be answered under the lights when the cage door closes. Prediction-wise, analysts are split. Some see Lopes' experience against elite competition as the deciding factor. His composure in deep waters, his ability to adapt mid-fight, and his well-rounded skill set give him tools that Silva has yet to encounter at this level. Others argue that Silva's power and aggression are unlike anything Lopes has faced before. If Silva lands clean, the narrative could abruptly end with Lopes staring up at the lights. No matter the outcome, this fight feels destined to shape the future of the featherweight division. If Lopes wins, his journey back to contention takes a major step forward, solidifying him as one of the top names still chasing UFC gold. If Silva triumphs, he becomes the next must-watch contender, a fresh face with devastating skills ready to threaten the throne. Saturday night is not just another Noche UFC. It is a collision of ambition, pride, and violence wrapped into one electrifying main event. Diego Lopes wants redemption. Jean Silva wants validation. Only one will leave the octagon with their dream intact, and fans around the world cannot wait to see who that will be.